catch you on the flip side, dude masters. Not!
Hey, kids, always recycle.
To the extreme!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at all of the very best films, series, songs, and trends of the 1990s.
Don't upset your Giga
Twin Peaks.
Diane, 11:30 a.m., February 24th. Entering the town of Twin Peaks. It's 5 miles south of the Canadian border, 12 miles west of the state line.
Viewers were treated to cinematic television, the likes of which they'd never seen before, when film director David Lynch introduced us to a small, made-up Washington state town called Twin Peaks. This series was always stylish, often funny, sometimes terrifying, and every now and then, downright bizarre. The central mystery of who killed Laura Palmer was to the early 90s what Who Shot JR was to the early 80s. Even though the mystery was solved and the show ended after just 2 seasons, it spawned a movie, a devoted cult following, and a revival series 26 years after the original run, just 1 year off of what Laura Palmer told Agent Cooper back in the 90s.
What brings you back to Twin Peaks, Agent Cooper?
Unfinished business.
Oasis.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you.
Britpop staged a major assault on popular music throughout the 90s, and it was led into battle by this band among others. For Oasis, Wonderwall was wonderful.
There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how.
A song about a life-saving make-believe friend, though there's continued speculation that romantic interests were its influence, it became a crowd-pleasing anthem. Written by Noel Gallagher and delivered with distinction by his brother Liam, Oasis was a family business, and this song was their jingle.
And after all, you're my wonderwall.
Fruit roll-ups. Nothing got us more excited in the 90s than pulling this flat, fruit-flavored snack out of our lunchbox and unrolling it bit by glorious bit. Although it may come as no surprise that there is very little actual fruit in these sugary snacks, and that eating one has approximately the same nutritional value as a handful of gummy bears, we can't help but love it. Whether you craved the flavors of Screamin' Green, Sunberry Burst, or Electric Blue Raspberry, the point is, you can probably still remember the taste of this nostalgic snack. Go ahead. Next time you're at the store, throw one in your cart for old time's sake. The Big Labowski.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
Your name's Labowski.
As tempted as we were to include Fargo, which is also spectacular, another Coen Brothers movie won out. Sometimes a story doesn't need a hero. Sometimes it needs a dude. The dude, to be precise.
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
The Big Lebowski follows the dude and the many colorful characters he encounters as he becomes embroiled in a kidnapping plot. The Big Lebowski is an experience unlike any other, filled with dream sequences, strange characters, and more iconic lines than a quarter of our list put together.
This is what happens, Larry. You see what happens, Larry?
The Big Lebowski, like the dude himself, abides in our collective consciousness, and we take comfort in that.
Take it easy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you will.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Pogs. Before NFTs, we were collecting a different kind of colorful tokens. Of course, these were typically found in the schoolyard and not the computer. Pogs were cardboard discs inspired by the game Milk Caps, which was prevalent in Hawaii.
In the early 1900s, Japanese immigrants settled in Hawaii and brought the game with them. Over time, it evolved into a version played with milk and juice caps from a local dairy company in Maui, eventually renaming it Pogs after their juice that was made out of passion fruit, orange, and guava. Get it?
The 90s saw Pogs become popular not just for gameplay reasons, but as collectibles. Kids would play one another in hopes of winning the pot and taking home some new Pogs. If that sounds a little like gambling to you, you're not alone. Many schools banned Pogs for encouraging gambling, as well as the general distraction they caused. And they weren't wrong.
I got some cool Pogs. Elf Pogs. Remember Elf? He's back. In pod form. You traded my soul for Pogs?
Enter Sandman, Metallica. The first single from their fifth album, with Enter Sandman, Metallica plays out our worst nightmares in the best way possible. A song that deals in bad dreams, it has an eerie opening, a killer guitar solo, and some demonic vocals. It's the heaviest of metal, and was a major influence over all of 90s rock. With an accompanying video that practically induces rapid eye movement, it's the sound of spooky, sleepless nights. Dunkaroos. There could hardly be a better snack to go to on this particular list. Introduced right in 1990 by the Betty Crocker Company, this was the perfect blend of cookies and frosting, meant to be dipped and enjoyed. After a contest in 1996 to redesign Sydney, the Australian kangaroo and mascot, the new mascot Duncan was born. American consumers were crushed when Dunkaroos were discontinued in 2012. Although it sparked a campaign by General Mills called Smuggleroos, where Canadians were encouraged to hook up their southern neighbors with the sweet and crunchy snacks. Baby Got Back, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Some songs have cryptic lyrics that can be interpreted in many different ways. Baby Got Back is not one of those songs.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny.
Sir Mix-a-Lot has a fondness for large derrieres, and he will not deny it. This incessantly catchy song topped the Billboard charts for 5 weeks and became the second highest selling song in the US in 1992. It even won a Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance.
Is your girlfriend got the butt? Hell yeah. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake that healthy butt. Baby got ballet feet with the open booty.
While the concept may seem crass and many of the lyrics are rude, the song has an overall message of body positivity that we can all hopefully get behind. No pun intended. We like this song and we cannot lie.
Baby got back. Yeah, baby.
Batman the Animated Series.
Clean up your act, Joker.
Oh, that's a joke, right? Batman finally told a joke.
The Caped Crusader has always been defined by his gritty storylines and mature themes, both things that weren't exactly expected of a kid-friendly cartoon. Yet the animated series' willingness to explore Batman's true nature is precisely why its legacy lives on to this day. If anything, its cast list alone is proof of its staying power. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill delivered epic performances as Batman and Joker respectively, and would go on to voice the characters for decades. It's clear that even years later, modern comic book stories are still indebted to what Batman the Animated Series accomplished. This is far from being the titular hero's only adventure on the small screen, but there's no denying it's his best.
Someone was planning to poison Gotham's water supply with the same fear-inducing gas. And I knew only one person capable of such a deed. Robin!
Baby One More Time, Britney Spears. Pop music got girly in the 90s, and to top the charts, you needed the woman's touch. The Spice Girls wannabe proved the real thing, but it's the teenage schoolgirl who really stole the show. Britney Spears became the biggest name in all of showbiz when she debuted with Baby One More Time. The song is pop perfection, and the video was instantly iconic. We just wouldn't leave Britney alone, as she scored a #1 in every single country she charted in.
I must confess that my loneliness is killing me now. Don't you know I still believe?
Friends.
All right, the weirdest place would have to be, the foot of the bed.
Step back. We have a winner.
Nothing could be more stereotypically 90s than a group of friends spending their time hanging around a coffee shop and in their apartments talking about their jobs, money woes, romantic pursuits, and interpersonal issues. And that is exactly what this sitcom delivered week after week. Friends was a huge hit and launched the careers of Jennifer Aniston, Matthew Perry, and pretty much the entire primary cast to varying degrees of success.
Do you guys want these?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, well, you got them.
All right.
Just give us our apartment back.
Regardless of what they've gone on to do since, however, we will always remember them for the simple fact that in the 90s, they were friends that we never got tired of seeing.
So, now, Rach, this is a traditional English trifle, isn't it?
It sure is.
Wow. So then did you make it with beef or eggplant?
Beef.
I can't have any. You know, I don't eat beef. Oh!
Tubthumping, Chumbawamba. Debuting in 1985 in the UK punk rock scene, Chumbawamba released 8 albums before scoring their big crossover hit, a feat they would never really attempt again.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down.
Tubthumping is the bar jam to end all bar jams. An explosive rock song with a contagious main chorus, scarce verses that do not get in the way, and memorable vocal hooks courtesy of Lou Watts and Dunstan Bruce.
He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good time.
Tubthumping is not representative of most of Chumbawamba's songs, so it's hardly surprising that the band never scored another major hit in the States.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Toy Story.
Hey, guys, look! It's the real Buzz Lightyear!
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Oh, no. Buzz, look, an alien! Where? Ah!
Disney distributed Toy Story, but with their first feature, John Lasseter, Andrew Stanton, Pete Docter, and the rest of Pixar sought to distinguish themselves from the mouse and all other animation studios. The film's trailblazing CG animation was one way, showing the industry that the computer is just another tool like pencil and paper.
I need to commandeer your vessel to Sector 12. Who's in charge here?
Pixar understood from the get-go that technology doesn't matter without appealing characters or an involving story. Toy Story had both, in addition to heart, finding humanity in plastic, setting a new standard with its contemporary backdrop, sharp screenplay, and groundbreaking animation. Toy Story is the film that almost every American animated feature has been chasing since, yet there's only one Toy Story, except Toy Story 2, 3, 4, and soon 5.
Buzz, you're flying!
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
To infinity and beyond!
What is Love? Hadaway.
Baby, don't hurt me no more.
Now this is a debut single. Love is probably the most overused topic in music, but this Eurodance classic distills the theme down to its essence, asking a universally relatable question that manages to be both direct and profound. Hadaway's soulful vocals bring a lot of weight to the bursts of verses, while the beat maintains an intense rhythm that is impossible to resist.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more.
Hadaway might not have scored another timeless hit in the US, but What Is Love lives on in dance clubs, on the airwaves, and in pop culture. Tickle Me Elmo. In the 90s, Tickle Me Elmo dolls were all the rage. Unfortunately, we mean that literally.
This may very well be the last Tickle Me Elmo to be found in the Bay Area, but he's already sold, and when we brought him out into the store, we caused a near riot.
This shaking and giggling doll, based on the beloved Sesame Street character, was such a hot commodity that violence broke out among many shoppers desperate to get their hands on one.
We can't tickle Elmo no more. Coochie coo.
No means no for Elmo.
Ow.
Some sought it out so they could resell it at a huge markup. 1 million Tickle Me Elmo dolls were sold in 1996 alone. One can hope they made millions of 90s kids very happy. At least, that's how Elmo would have wanted it. Forrest Gump.
Hello.
My name's Forrest Gump. Do you want a chocolate?
Does anyone dislike this movie? Forrest Gump follows the title character during his life across the latter half of the 20th century. His unwitting luck and effect on major events are very endearing, as are his friendships and relationships that he makes along the way. The film has so many unforgettable quotes and scenes.
Run, Forrest, run!
Not to mention a standout performance by Tom Hanks as Forrest.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
It's no wonder it won so many awards, including Best Picture at the Oscars.
You'd be so proud of him. I am.
Still, in our opinion, it wasn't even the best movie that year. Titanic. Titanic is one of the highest grossing and most critically acclaimed movies of all time. Of course it's one of the best 90s movies. In case you weren't alive during the time or were just out of touch, Titanic is a fictionalized account of the real-life sinking of the RMS Titanic. It primarily follows Rose and Jack, two lovers from different social classes who meet and fall in love on the doomed ship's voyage.
I'm flying. Jack.
It's a disaster movie, a period drama, and a romance film all rolled up into one. This combination, along with James Cameron's Oscar-winning direction, excellent performances, stellar effects, and much more, helped make it one of the biggest movies ever made.
Never let go. I will never let go, Jack. I'll never let go.
But, like the ship itself, the movie isn't unsinkable. Virtual pets. If your parents wouldn't buy you a puppy in the 90s, it was no problem at all. The 1990s pet of choice was one that didn't shed on the couch or have an accident on the carpet.
My Tamagotchi angel's so heavenly. I love its pearly gate color.
Virtual pets like Tamagotchi and Gigapets were a must-have toy for kids of all ages. Their needy features meant we got a lot more attached to them than we did our other toys.
Gigapet! If you want your Giga to grow bigger, you gotta figure how to care for your Giga. Baby wants to play!
It also meant that we were woken up at odd hours of the night to take care of them. And if we didn't, well, these 8-bit animals would go up to virtual pet heaven. Yikes. Pulp Fiction.
They furnished off an apartment with a 2-room robot sale.
As phenomenal as Quentin Tarantino's debut film Reservoir Dogs was, he delivered what many consider to be his magnum opus with his sophomore movie. Told out of chronological order and following a group of interrelated criminals through several violent and unpredictable events, the film is anything but traditional, and started plenty of trends of its own. Featuring an all-star ensemble cast and Tarantino's signature naturalistic yet insanely quotable dialogue, Pulp Fiction has a little something for everyone.
Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like. What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
There's romance, suspense, action, comedy, and mystery. It's the choice bits of cinema thrown into a blender to make a delicious smoothie of a movie. And the greatest 90s film of them all.
The truth is, you're the weak, and I am the tyranny of evil men.
Boy bands. Male vocal groups had existed in the past, but the 90s ushered in a new era with the rise of the boy band.
When you say that I want it that way.
Groups like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC captured hearts around the world with their magazine cover good looks, elaborate choreography, and songs that ranged from party anthems to soulful ballads. And it wasn't just the boys making waves either. Girl groups like the Spice Girls hit it big in the 90s too. Okay, so a lot of these groups were cheesy and their styles are definitely of their time, but we were always excited to hear I Want It That Way on the radio. Heck, we still are. Smells Like Teen Spirit, Nirvana.
She's overboard, self-assured,
If the 90s are responsible for popularizing one music genre in particular, it's grunge. Pearl Jam's Jeremy and Radiohead's Creep were among other moody, magnificent tracks, but Teen Spirit was the trailblazer. Nirvana smashed into the mainstream with awesome Apathy, and a record that rings in your ears for days. Inspired by graffiti left by a girlfriend on Kurt Cobain's bedroom wall, it's a typically Nirvana combination of loud and quiet, subdued and severe. It didn't hold back, making it undeniably one of the greatest 90s things ever. The XFiles.
So he intercepted Deputy Wright's last call to his dispatcher, which means he was here in Townsend, Wisconsin, the night of the crash. Of all the places he could have been, he was right here. Don't you think that's more than a coincidence?
The 90s, for many, was a decade of questioning the official narrative and treating conspiracy theories as legitimate possibilities. On the silver screen, there was Oliver Stone's JFK. On TV, we got The X-Files. In the series, FBI agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully investigate the paranormal while trying to unravel a massive government conspiracy that involves shadowy men, one of whom is quite the chain smoker, working with extraterrestrials to prevent the truth, which is out there, from coming to light.
Be honest, Scully. Doesn't that propane tank bear more than just a slight resemblance to a fat little white Nazi stormtrooper?
Mulder, the human mind naturally seeks meaningful patterns and configurations and things that don't inherently have any.
The original run ended in 2002, but it was followed by 2 movies and a revival in 2016, proving that 90s-style conspiracies, when done correctly, are utterly timeless.
Mulder, I'm alarmed that you would reduce this man to a literary stereotype. A mad scientist.
Who else would go to such trouble to impregnate Shannon Berkowitz?
Goodfellas. There are few gangster movies that are even in the same league as the Godfather films, and Goodfellas is right up there with them. Based on the life of real mob member Henry Hill, Goodfellas is outstanding from top to bottom. The cast is stacked with huge actors who deliver some of their best performances, particularly an Oscar-winning Joe Pesci.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you? I make you laugh?
The camera work is exceptional. The story is well told, grips you throughout, and the script has iconic line after iconic line.
You know, we always called each other good fellas. Like you'd say to somebody, you're gonna like this guy, he's all right. He's a good fella, he's one of us. You understand?
Director Martin Scorsese is at the top of his game with Goodfellas. It's one of the most influential films of the last few decades, and certainly one of the best of the 90s. Though not quite our number one. Macarena. Bayside Boys mix, Los Del Rio. The Macarena and its accompanying dance remain popular to this day. But to really appreciate how massive this song was, you needed to have been around in the 90s. Created by Spanish pop duo Los Del Rio, the song really took off after the Bayside Boys remixed it, with English verses added. Topping the Billboard charts for 14 weeks, it became so big that politicians were dancing the Macarena at the 1996 Democratic National Convention. While some might have seen the song's success as being a fad, there's just no denying how infectious it was and continues to be. Lunchables. Ever since their national release in 1989 by the Kraft Heinz Company, we've been in love. These convenient lunch packages for kids were created as a way for the Oscar Mayer brand to sell lunch meat, while also making it easier on busy moms who found it difficult to pack homemade lunches for their children. The result was an enduring brand that offers more than 20 lunch combinations for hungry kids. Although there were concerns initially with the high fat, sodium, and sugar content of the packages, the company responded by creating more nutritious, health-conscious versions of the prepackaged meals. Jurassic Park.
Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sattler, welcome to Jurassic Park.
There are dinosaur movies, and then there's Jurassic Park. You all know the drill. Dinosaur zoo, visitors need to escape when they run amok. What has science done?
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
The plot's not complex, but it's in the execution that Jurassic Park manages to be one of the finest disaster films ever. The characters are all well realized and entertaining, so when they're in danger, you actually care. The effects hold up decades later, and the direction helps create perfect tension. The music is iconic and sweeps you off your feet. Jurassic Park basically helped everyone realize what paleontologists and kids already knew. Dinosaurs are awesome. Seinfeld.
What do you do, a lot of that, did you ever notice kind of stuff?
Yeah.
You know, it strikes me a lot of guys are doing that kind of humor.
Well, you really went bald there, didn't you?
90s culture was very self-aware and filled with popular references to everyday occurrences. This was thanks, in large part, to one show, a groundbreaking observational sitcom following the lives of 4 people living in New York City. Ethically dubious yet endearing, eccentric though arguably rather ordinary, they were utterly captivating characters.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, I thought this was the baby's room. I'm really sorry.
Over the years, Seinfeld popularized concepts like shrinkage, low talkers, restaurants so good they could exclude customers with impunity, and of course, double dippers among others. It also introduced the world to the alternative holiday Festivus, which some people celebrate to this day. Not bad for a show that proudly claims to be about nothing.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it.
Beanie Babies. How do you turn something as common as a stuffed animal into the hottest new trend? Answer: fill it with tiny pellets and give it a birthday.
It is so great that you always include the Beanies' birthdays.
Thank you. Children want to know when their toy was born.
Beanie Babies were one of those 90s sensations you could only understand if you were around at the time. If you wanted one, you had to act fast, because some designs didn't last long. Of course, you might find the sold-out Beanie Baby you wanted on eBay. For thousands of dollars, that is. Many saw them less as toys and more as an investment opportunity.
On eBay, the average selling price was about $35 per Beanie Baby, which isn't much, but it was 7 times the retail price. So, I mean, people were buying these as an investment. I mean, it's really, really hard to imagine now.
While undoubtedly cute, Beanie Babies eventually saw their bubble burst. We all knew one thing, though. You should never cut off the tag. The Simpsons.
Now, Homer, don't you eat this pie.
Okay. All right, Pie. I'm just gonna do this. Hop, 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 hop. And if you get eaten, it's your own fault.
One could say there are 3 constants in life: death, taxes, and The Simpsons. That's no exaggeration. It is literally the longest-running American animated program. It holds the same record for American sitcoms and for American scripted primetime shows. Still, its biggest achievement might be that Homer's go-to expression, dough, was added to the Oxford English Dictionary. Talk about a resume.
Dough! Yeah, that's what they all say. They all say dough.
It's safe to say that almost every modern adult animated program owes their existence to The Simpsons. The also great Futurama even pokes fun at the connection. It's all a testament to how fun it is watching the Simpson family navigate life in Springfield alongside friends and foes. By now, the hilarious satirical series is essentially a cultural touchstone, one that will probably outlive us all.
Let me ask you a question. Why would a man whose shirt says genius at work spend all of his time watching a children's cartoon show?
I withdraw my question.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Grunge. The 80s were a decade of flash and excess, especially with regard to music and fashion. So it's only fitting that the 90s went in the opposite direction.
None of this hairspray. We're gonna wear flannel. We're gonna talk about our feelings, but we're still gonna rock, and we're still gonna get laid.
Grunge was a trend defined by not being trendy, at least in theory. Denizens of this subculture, which took root in the Pacific Northwest, wore clothes off the thrift store rack, not the runway. Put on a flannel shirt and go a few days without shaving, and you were the coolest person on your block. And of course, there wouldn't be grunge without bands like Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, and Nirvana. There angsty lyrics and searing riffs were the stuff of legend. We're not wearing nearly as much flannel these days, but we will always have a soft spot for grunge. What's your favorite piece of pop culture that had been spawned in the 90s? Let us know in the comments.
It's a necessity in Seattle. You have to wear a flannel shirt or die.